And our group project name is Refugee Crisis. And this is a short webinar to spread awareness about refugees. So first of all, the introduction to refugees. The global refugee crisis is one of the most pressing humanitarian issues nowadays, even in the 24th century. With millions displaced by war, persecution, violence, war including international wars or civil unrest. These individuals' families find themselves caught between borders, some relenting to let them through and some holding them back, often living in uncertain and precarious conditions. They do not even have the potable water to drink. They do not even have the currency. They don't even have an economic situation to settle in a new country. Urging an international response centered on compassion, solidarity, and human rights. Nowadays, Refugee Day is being celebrated throughout the year to express solidarity with the refugees. But still, this humanitarian crisis is spreading. The problem is increasing and the solutions are becoming dry. This refugee crisis needs to be understood with grasping scale. On this scale of displacement, we should be alarmed that how many refugees yearly are being displaced from their homes, their country. Their journey is fraught with danger. Even through borders, they do not feel secure because they are overwhelmed by attacks because many people do not like immigrants in our country. First step in a collective effort to address this crisis. I'm not saying that this crisis is being neglected, but I'm saying that the solution to this crisis is very slow. The UNHCR is trying its level best to provide the refugees the status they deserve. They did not mean any of this. They did not want any of they did not want they didn't want displacement of their own homes. They did not want to leave their own homes, but yet they were forced to leave their own homes. They are being massacred. They are not being taken care of, as is a good explanation of the 1947 migration, the biggest migration in history, but still so many people were massacred and murdered. This should be a great awareness campaign for every one of you in this call. This should teach all of us that how this crisis is advancing forward. The refugee awareness, their current state is that many statistics, many media coverage, and public sentiment. Media coverage is going very slow. You know how Western media is dealing with these kind of things nowadays. On statistics, there are many refugees worldwide which are increasing in unprecedented levels. International organizations are giving alarming statistics. They are giving alarming statistics that the refugee number is increasing day by day. Factual knowledge of these statistics is vital to comprehend the vastness of the crisis. This crisis is not being averted at all. Many old crises like global warming and such other are trying to be averted, but no one is trying to. They are neglecting this refugee crisis. They are not aware that they are also not secure in their own country. Something like this will happen to them one day, but still they do not care about this. Media coverage. Western media, you know a lot of. They the news that they spread, they just add a little bit of their own in to give it to give the news a little bit spice, to hype the news up. They are telling that refugees are like this, they're criminals, they're terrorists, they do not do like this, but in real, that's only a fraction of the whole refugee percentage. Many refugees are innocents. They did not mean any of this. They did not want to be displaced by their own people, you know, in Palestine, the Israeli government is trying their level best to stop the Palestinians from migrating to Egypt. They are trying their level best. They are being massacred, and still we are silent. Not only in Gaza, but all over Palestine. They are all unsecure. They are all trying to resettle and have a good life for their kin. They all want the next generation to feel protected. They all want their next generation to be safe and secure and have a good future. Public sentiment. You know, nowadays people get sentimental that how this matter is being treated, but no, they do not do anything about it. They do not take any legal action. If I were some person on a high post in Pakistan and I was talking about this if I were to be talking about this in a group chat, I would only raise awareness among them. I would not do anything else. And awareness on a level that they would support. Awareness on a level that will increase your level with them. So this is something that is being very followed nowadays. Importance of raising awareness. You know, once in Islam, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The Ansars and the Muhajirin are brothers. We are Muslims. We should care for our fellow Muslims. As we don't have any power in our hands, at least we can do is spread awareness about them. Let everyone in Pakistan know about the following crisis. Let everyone else know that their fellow Muslim brothers and sisters are sleeping on the streets, knowing that they have other brothers and sisters and yet they are not doing anything else to help them. Policy influence. We can inform citizens, we can do protests, we can provide, we can have webinars like this one. There are many resources in this world. The technology that technology that we have nowadays, it's so embarking. We should follow on that level. Awareness campaigns also play a significant role in resource mobilization. Awareness campaigns like this one, I'm not saying that our webinar is the best. Maybe it's not. Maybe someone else's is. But at least we are trying our level best to raise awareness about the following issue, not because it's our team project, but because we are aware that this global crisis is getting out of hand. And yet we are doing nothing about it. In raising awareness, there are many challenges. Sometimes we could misinform. No one tells the truth. No one knows what's the truth. It's always opinion based. Yet everyone believes them. Misinformation, like when you join an awareness campaign, make sure that they are providing the right information. Sometimes those awareness campaigns lead people to believe that that refugees are terrorists and nothing else. Compassion fatigue. With constant exposure to global crisis, audience can experience compassion. If someone was angry at refugees, I hope these awareness campaigns could refreshen his mood. He could get a new perspective about refugees. He could get a new he could give something to them. He could help them in some way that we are not. Funding limitations. We do not have the current funds to provide to care for awareness campaigns. Raising awareness requires a lot of money. You need people, you need resources, you need permissions. That's something that a student can wish for, but unfortunately that's mainly not possible. Well, there are many strategies for raising awareness. There are many strategies, really. You can do is like when you go to a group chat, they are mostly talking about politics, about money problems, about how to succeed in life, about studies. But what you can do, you a 15 to 16-year-old student or something, or someone higher or someone lower, can talk about refugees, can trigger that conversation between them. Maybe someone will have a change of heart. So maybe someone would donate to them. Maybe you are talking to a high ranking officer who can do something about it. Education program. In our school, we could arrange special meetings with other students. We could tell them this following crisis and we could ask for their help to embark on this journey with us. There are literally many ways that awareness could be spread amongst people. We could also do global events. We could organize an event near Islamabad or someplace else where people feel comfortable to come. Where people feel comfortable. Why do people protest for politicians and not for their own brothers and sisters? I'm not saying people don't. People do about Palestine. People do about the people of Gaza, but they are mainly talking about Palestinian Gaza people. They are not talking about the overall refugees. Collaborations and partnerships. Yes, this is a main key for raising awareness. You can ask an NGO to partner with you. You can spread awareness on another level. You can tell international people about this refugee. You can literally, they could organize you to go to the New York Times Square and you could spread your voice that high. People would know. You would be a humanitarian for raising this crisis. People would be aware about this crisis. People would have information about this crisis. Private sector, you can either go for an industrialist or an entrepreneur, ask for their help. You can tell benefits that they would get. Well, they are mostly talking about benefits, but some have a change of heart and some like to talk about this crisis. So private sector, they could fund you really well. They could fund you really well to organize campaigns, organize protests, organize new meetings with many different people. Governments, yes, this is a very key role in raising awareness. It plays a very key role. You can go for your internet. You can when local and international governments join forces, they create more systematic approaches. You can have a proper high ranking officer on your side dealing with this crisis. Maybe you're not raising awareness. Maybe you are dealing with this crisis. You are going to the next level when you are talking with governments. Maybe the government does not like to talk. Maybe the government likes to listen. Sometimes it depends, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes governments have heart and sometimes they don't. Research initiatives and academic partnerships can contribute to substantive policy changes and deeper understanding of the complexities involved in the refugee crisis. Academia, your academic studies could really benefit from this growing crisis, like the good subject of global perspectives. This subject has made me realize that this crisis has been neglected for too long. I am literally researching day and night, not only for my team project, but for my own humanitarian need. What if, after this team project in May, June, or July, I raise more awareness, I create more webinars, I host more webinars? This could be a great approach. Well, the success stories, you get some hope when you hear the success stories of how many refugees are being resettled. But over 500,000 refugees have found new homes through resettlement programs. The UNHCR is trying its level best. They are trying their level best to resettle refugees, to give them a new home, a new life, a new career, a new country to where they can live in. Many new initiatives have been taken place. Community based initiatives around the globe work tirelessly, providing essential services and advocating for those displaced. Many new initiatives have been taking place in partnership with the UNHCR so that, that the refugee cause could see some hope. You know, yesterday I was thinking, the Palestinian refugees, the Ukrainian refugees, they must think that the world is so cruel that they're not thinking about them. But how would they know? They are not reading our hearts. Maybe someone out there is trying their level best to cover this up. But this neglected crisis cannot go any further. This crisis needs to be dealt with now and for the betterment of our own country. You would not know of how secure your country is. Next time, when the day tomorrow you wake up, you would find out your country is being invaded. It has been invaded. It has been conquered. You would have no place to live. You are literally a normal person among people. You would have to take refuge in another country. What if they treat you like this? So what I'm saying is that no one should say bad about refugees. They are not. They are innocent people. Some, however, take advantages of being a refugee and go to other countries and disrupt the peace that is over there. Well, as I'm saying, this webinar is about raising awareness, but a call to action needs to take place. What we all should do. We not now, but later on, we'll play zakat, we'll play sadaqah. So why not out of that sadaqah, we give it to our Muslims brothers and sisters? If not sadaqah or zakat, we could give normal money. What if Allah is pleased with us that we are donating money to the ones who are sleeping on the streets and don't have the proper facilities? We could volunteer. We could go to an NGO or the UNHCR to volunteer for them, to help them in this refugee cause. We can go to refugee camps and provide for them. We could literally provide aid for them in several different ways, like what Pakistan is doing nowadays. Pakistan has provided so much aid to Palestine that unimaginable. Educate. First of all, we can do is like this webinar. We are educating, we are raising awareness amongst people. Many of you didn't know that this refugee crisis was going on for so long. Someone would think that, yeah, they just go to other countries and they settle there. But that's not the problem. That's not the case. People are being killed, people are being massacred. They do not have the proper security. Our country not provide people with the proper facilities they need. We could advocate. We could either become a humanitarian lawyer or someone's assistant who could rely on them to do the right thing and do what's best for the people who are immigrants in another country. Thank you, everyone, for your time. And I hope this presentation has raised awareness amongst all of you. And inshallah, in the future, this would prove very good.
Thank you so much, Rehan. Would you be having a question and answer session?
Yes, we would be having a question and answer session. For those who have any questions, please.
Okay.
Yes, Iman Durrani.
Assalamu alaikum. Rehan, I'm enjoying your session. I would like to ask, how can local communities better support refugees in their area?
Local communities, at the very least, they could pray for refugees. They could pray for the betterment of refugees. If they cannot provide any if they cannot provide any money or any economic need to the refugees, then they can at least pray for them. They could at least think good of them. They could at least do anything like pray for them, but at the very least they should pray. At the very most they should provide aid, they should provide money, they should provide shelter to them. Either not shelter but give food, potable water to them, or what on which they could survive.
Are there any organizations willing to support them?
There are many organizations. The United Nations is supporting the UNHCR. Today I have seen so many United UNHCR trucks go by on the motorway. They are carrying tents, food, aid, supplies for the refugees in other areas, not only in Islamabad, but other areas across the whole country. So this is a very effective approach.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So do you have any suggestion that we know that there are many refugee organizations and people are looking for it. Do you have any suggestion that how we can connect to the people, connect the needy ones, the refugees, to the organizations? Because yes, organizations can reach out to many people, but there are many who couldn't and who lack the connection with these organizations. So do you have any suggestions for that?
Sir, on Thursday, I was trying to arrange an interview with an Afghan refugee. Actually, he was in this country for about 30 years. And practically, he said no for the interview. He said he was illegally in this country. I tried my best. I tried that he could go to the UNHCR. He could ask for help. He would not be deported back to his own country. But still, people are afraid. Refugees are afraid now that they do not know. They think that it's too late for them to ask for help. But it's not too late for them. If they are caught, then yes, it's too late for them, but still, they should go themselves. They should either ask someone else. They should either, like, the UNHCR should create some other, like, small initiative which could attend calls, which could go to every sector of Islamabad or Rawalpindi to ask for refugees. There are many refugees. In my area alone in Aptabad, there are many refugees. Today, I have met 4 to 5 Afghan refugees.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. So I've just joined you people a bit late, but I'm really enjoying the kind of the questions and the answers you're responding to. I would just ask you one question: as since this content of refugee is not new for us, so for your IR, why do you think that this topic is going to have an impact? So what inspired you talking about and discussing the issue of this refugees?
Currently, it was also that no one else was taking up this topic, but still, on another level, I have viewed people in group talks. I have viewed them only talk about politics, money problems, how to succeed in life. They are not talking about a global humanitarian crisis. They are not talking about the people that are being massacred through borders. They are not even secured. It's like they're not even humans at all. So I thought that this project would really aim not only to achieve good marks by Cambridge, but still it could raise a little bit awareness amongst people. Maybe 10, maybe 12, but still my group members are trying to make an impact here. We are trying to raise awareness amongst many people.
Okay, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
My question to you is, what role do government play in ensuring the right of refugees are upheld?
I'm not governments are trying their level best, but at this developing stage, Pakistan is a developing country. It's also facing its own economic crisis, but still, this country is trying its level best. They know what those refugees have felt. During Ziaul Haq's regime, we have seen how Afghan refugees were allowed to come in Pakistan. They were treated like brothers, and because of that, Pakistan had faced Islamization. So through refugees, yes, Pakistan has faced very good initiatives. Refugees have been provided for and they have been dealt with. But I don't know, nowadays this crisis is seeming to get out of hand. And I don't think governments are trying their best, but this crisis is so big that not only one government, but the whole world has to try together. They have to help each other. They have to stop these wars, these civil wars, these persecutions. Minorities are being picked upon, not only in India, but all over the world. So yes, governments are trying their level best to do so, but they also have limitations.
Thank you so much for your answer.
All right, does anybody else have questions? All right, so I really hope that this webinar has proved something. This webinar has made an impact. I really appreciate the work done by my fellow group members, and further tomorrow, this webinar would be very perfect. And thank you, sir, for providing an excellent advice. And tomorrow you would see a great difference from this webinar. And yes, tomorrow we will have a chief guest amongst us, and she will also give her views and her PowerPoint presentation to further raise awareness about refugees. Thank you all for coming. It was all nice to answer questions. You also had very nice questions. I hope this made an impact, and excellent work done by my fellow team members. They also did their level best. Inshallah, tomorrow I will also arrange the time for tomorrow's webinar, and I hope everyone would be there to attend. Thank you all for coming out.